Welcome into the Ryco Performance Monday night top split on GridVision. We're here live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've got the Charlotte Roval, and it's going to be the last time that we see this particular layout of the Charlotte Roval this week here on iRacing, as it is not yet swapped over to what we're going to be running in the real world quite yet. A little bit of a change in the infield section here tonight. Sheldon, my co-commentator, also alongside Austin Derbyshire in the production booth, as we get the overhead of the Charlotte Roval here. Sheldon, what do you think? We don't have the changes, so it's not going to be anything different than what we've seen. What do you expect to see here tonight?
Do you want honest answers?
Maybe. Depends on what honest is.
You remember everything you said about Richmond a couple weeks ago? How you felt about that place? How much you loved it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's me with this place.
Really?
We are running an infield road course on the best mile-and-a-half track on the circuit. Even when the cars weren't that good, I've still felt the same way. I carry that flag. I will die on this hill. But can't make any changes about tonight, so main thing I'm expecting is I'm expecting a lot of chaos into that first turn and probably a couple crazy wrecks through the bus stop, and I'm expecting, the Conky Donkey to run away with Garrett Maines by about half a track, and basically what I'm seeing.
You had me fooled there for a minute with that little speech. I thought you actually enjoyed this place for a second, because I actually do enjoy Richmond. I enjoy driving it. Just the broadcasting, it's not that fun. But we're gonna move into our broadcast picks. First, I'm gonna go with the man up on the pole. Doesn't show up too often, but whenever he does, he's towards the front. The Conky Donkey, Sean Conklin, gonna come home with the win tonight.
I got to go with the man, the myth, the legend himself. I got to go with Roger Pierce. I feel like tonight's going to be a good run for him. Ran really well at Watkins Glen and some of the other road courses this year. Looking for him to be pretty hot tonight.
Yeah, but Pierce starting back in 16th at a road course with no cautions doesn't typically bode well. We'll have to wait and see on that one, Sheldon. He'll be lucky to crack the top 5 by the end of the night. But hey, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. I'll wait and I'll wait to pass judgment. But our producer also went with Sean Conklin. I feel like that's the low-hanging fruit. But either way, Tuesday night for our schedule. Tuesday night, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Once again, the Spartan Master Series, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And then right back here on Friday night for the Ryco Performance. Friday night top split from the Charlotte Roval at 9 p.m. Eastern as well. A lot of Ryco races this week. Just about all we've got. No offense, Roger, no offense. But, man, you start 16th at a road course. It's just, it's going to be tough to get up there. It's not an indictment on you. It's just going to be tough.
We talked before the race about how much he thinks you're washed, Roger, so.
It's okay. I probably agree with him. So, whenever you don't race much, yeah, you're kind of washed. But either way, we're going to get into the starting lineup because everybody's getting ready to get gridded. But Sean Conklin up on the pole, just 0.02 of a second between him and Garrett Maines in the second place. Nicholas Vroman lining up in third, Nat Baker on the outside in fourth, Richard Garcia lining up in fifth, Tommy Gossett in sixth place, John Payson in seventh, Spencer Torrance on the outside in eighth, Steve Buchanan and PB Henry round out the top 10.
In 11th place, we got Sean Rogers with Guillermo Bianchini in 12th. 13th is going to be Trevor Baxter with Fraser Hillshaw in 14th. 15th is going to be Lawrence Shugnessy with 16th place.
Shaughnessy.
Sorry about that.
Shugnessy. What's up, Lawrence Shugnessy in the chat? I see you up there. I predict that crash is going to be on lap 14.
My Virginia is happening right now. Either way, 16th place, my pick, Roger Pierce with Dave Long in 17th. 18th is going to be Daniel Wills with 19th being Kevin Burheimer, and running out your top 20 is going to be Justin Selway Jr.
Justin Levine lining up in 21st, Zach Martin in 22nd. Daniel Edblad lining up in 23rd with Billy Brickley in 24th. Jack Nipris lining up in 25th with Steve Martin rounding out the 26 car field here tonight. I cannot wait for Lawrence to do something. What a name. What a name. Shugnessy.
I'm brain dead. All right, bear with me.
It's like it's a really sweet nickname for a horse.
I just want to know why Levine's starting 21st.
Because it's a road course, and he sucks at road courses.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He is a Daytona Talladega warrior.
Yeah.
Come on, Justin. Go back to Draft Masters. Yep. Winner of Friday night's top split after 20 years of trying and
He
20 years of
belongs on
frustration.
Drafty Car. He belongs on Drafty Car at this point, right? That's it.
Yeah, they need to make him a car for that. So my question is, how aggressive are Sean Conklin and Garrett Maines going to race each other tonight? Because we got a huge taste of that at Watkins Glen. And
it depends. If the faster one starts out in the race lead, I don't think we're gonna see much. If the faster one starts out in second and can't get by, then it's gonna be just as racy as Watkins Glen was. But who's gonna be faster? I feel like it's typically Maines that's a little quicker, so I feel like Conklin really has to get through the gears good, get down into 1 and 2, and at least get himself clear.
it'll be a tall ask between these two, that's for sure.
We still have to come through the infield little chicane here for the green flag, don't we? A little weird here on iRacing that we've got to come through the chicane, but Sean Conklin and Garrett Maines are going to be doing that coming off the final couple corners here at the Charlotte Roval, down to the chicane on the front straightaway. And the green flag is flying. Sean Conklin to the gas immediately and quickly to the race lead. Aggressive over Garrett Maines coming to the flag. Maines back down to the inside as we come down into turn number 1. They're side by side for the race lead. Maines trying to take it quickly. Door banging between the two teammates as we come out of 2.
Conklin gets shoved up the track a little bit here. Going to dive back down there to the bottom, though, in the next set of corners. All over the door of Garrett Maines. They're dead even coming out through the straightaway.
This is where it matters so much for Conklin. Can you get clear in this double right? The 54 really not letting Garrett Maines turn down in the next corner. Just clearing himself across the nose of Garrett Maines. Able to hang on, but we're coming down to the oval. Can Maines give him a bumper? Get himself under the 54. Not going to happen as we come back onto the oval. He actually gets into the fence. Gonna slide a little ways back, so Conklin's got the breathing space finally.
Yeah, Conklin with a nice little advantage over second place Garrett Maines now, but as they get ready to come down into the bus stop here on the back straightaway, here comes Maines right back to him. Very aggressive on the braking zone, but Conklin going to get the pole.
We might, or excuse me, I think we might have some replays here as we're coming down to turn number 1. Yeah, I think it's a fair bet. You know, typically people just miss the Tom's heartburn turn down there, turn 1. First lap, cold tires. How does my brake pedal work? I think I forgot. Typically happens to a couple people coming down here. Oh, that the rear tire's just not up to temperature for a couple of these guys. Maybe chattering the rears as they're getting back on the throttle pedal. You saw Levine stuck in the middle of that, giving somebody the bumper. Getting through, probably damage free. These things are tanks, so.
He should be all right. Not too much issue.
Just the time loss. That's all that matters at the road courses. As long as you're not dead and you haven't lost a ton of time, whatever, you're good.
Currently, everybody being pretty cordial with each other right now. Those single filing out throughout the field. No real chaos or, people dumping each other, which is always nice to see when we come here to the Roval.
Well, and how about Conklin? Typically, I just told you, typically Maines is the faster one. Well, Conklin's pulled out to a 7/10 of a second lead over Garrett Maines over the first couple laps. He got clear and he's started to set sail.
I mean, figuring out which one is the better out of these two with Conklin and Maines, though, is like a heads tails kind of scenario.
Oh, PP Henry! Oh, don't rejoin, buddy. Don't rejoin. There you go. Good reverse. Oh, you could have gone there. Oh, man. I feel like that's typically the. It looked like a lot of the race traffic coming home from Talladega last night. I can tell you that from experience.
You see
somebody
Henry
stuck in the median coming back in, but stuck side by side with Gossett. And maybe just got loose on the zone before the contact.
Yeah, it looks like Gossett washed up just a little bit. Very tight section of the track. You don't necessarily want to be side by side through there. Looks like a little bit of a wash up and just not a whole lot of contact, but just enough to send him around.
At that point of the racetrack, coming through the gears, really slow speed doesn't take a lot to spin a guy around. I feel like, you know, kind of going from right to left, getting back onto the racetrack.
There's a
weird spot.
There's a good view of the damage on Levine's machine right there. That
Oh,
front
man.
end, yeah, he did a little bit more than what we thought initially. Is the Pug version of the Toyota Camry.
Yeah, that's way more than I expected. I did not think that it was that bad of contact, but that's pretty aggressive.
I gotta wonder, you know, if these guys shifting through gears so much here, and all that extra load on the drivetrain, I wonder if that's going to cause overheating issues for him throughout this thing.
I hope so.
Me too.
I hate that guy. Sheldon, would you like to be a part of my union?
The anti-Levine
my
union?
broadcasters, my broadcasters against my broadcasters against GridVision.
Our producer is literally screaming at our ears right now.
Look, Eric Maines. I was just talking high and mighty on Sean Conklin, but Maines is running back down, coming through NASCAR 1 and 2.
Maines all over the rear bumper of Sean Conklin as they come down the back straightaway into the bus stop. The thing I'm noticing out of Maines is he's a lot more aggressive on that, you know, the brake entry. He's getting it so much deeper into the corner than Conklin is, and still somehow managing to get enough drive off to not throw himself backwards.
Maines just way later on the brakes there, getting down into the last chicane, but maybe a little bit too late as Conklin just completely beats him out of the corner, able to get back to the gas way better. So Garrett overstepping the bounce ever so slightly, giving back a good bit that he had gained, if not all of it, back to 0.7 of a second back from your race leader, Sean Conklin.
The only concern there is if that's going to cause issues with the life expectancy of those front tires as it gets later into this thing. Because that's a lot of load you're putting on those fronts coming into the corner like that.
I mean, if he keeps doing it, sure. You know, lap after lap, you overshoot it. Yeah, you're going to hurt him a little bit more. But, you know, if it's just a one-time thing, you're fine. The 22 off the racetrack, that is going to be Zach Martin. Coming through the infield dirt, or the AstroTurf, I should say, here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Getting a replay. Look at what happened. Coming down to the last chicane. Somebody might be spinning ahead of him. Saw some smoke. Just hit that curbing wrong. Came back down on the racetrack. Not good.
He's probably wishing that they could have stayed at Talladega an extra week.
I wish we could have stayed at Talladega an extra week.
I don't think you would have. I don't think your liver would have survived staying at Talladega an extra week, buddy. You sound kind of broken. You okay?
Can you repeat that? No, Lawrence Shugnussi.
Stop.
Sorry, Shugnessy. Shugnessy, just moseying on down. Oh man, he just lost it himself. I thought somebody had turned him, but
I swear we're professionals.
it's just not what you want to see. That's not what you. Typically, whenever you hit the brake pedal, you don't want the car to turn hard right. Whenever you got a left-hander coming up, we got to teach our horses better.
Thanks for the cryptic wisdom there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're gonna regroup with Shugnessy and come back with her next time and see if we can do a little bit better job.
I'm not living that one down at any point, am I?
Absolutely not. That one's
Levine!
One of my favorites.
Washed.
What, like washed as in like he's bad, or washed as in like he washed out of the groove of the racetrack?
Yes.
Oh.
See him right here, driving all by himself, coming up into that double right-hander, and
oh man, holy cow!
just
To be fair, he never understood this turning right thing. I can tell you that. I've had plenty of talks with him. It's his weak spot. It's his weak spot.
no great at
He
everything
doesn't like
else,
the road
but
courses.
with them right-handers, and I mean, I'm right there with him. I couldn't find my way around this place with both hands and a road map.
I love the road courses. I think they're fun in the Cup cars, or all of the NASCAR vehicles. They were better in the Gen 6s. The Gen 7s are too good, but regardless,
Yeah.
I think that I think the NASCAR vehicles are fantastic around these things.
See, for me, I'd like to open the petition to replace all NASCAR road courses with Watkins Glen myself.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Just give us like 12 Watkins Glen races a year. I'd be okay. I'd love it.
We can run it in reverse a couple times.
Yeah, and the boot maybe once or twice. Yeah, there we go. Our producer says uses the boot as the Joker lap. Now, that would be amazing.
Okay.
Put a little ramp at the end of it too, right where it
Hey, I'm
loads
willing
into
to give Mexico City a chance because it's pretty high speed in some sections. I think it could be decent.
Don't let.
But the Cup car, I don't know. The Cup car has just not
hey.
been fantastic around the road courses.
Just don't let Brett Griffin hear you say that. We're getting the rallycross layout idea.
Yeah,
from,
our producer's
producer.
really fantasizing. He wants us to go full rallycross. And while I mean it would probably be cool. It'd probably work. I don't know.
Look, they just had to pull curbing up at Watkins Glen this year because people were giving themselves concussions. I don't want to even think about these guys taking ramps on dirt.
That's a fair point. I'll give you that. Still got to say, Conklin doing a good job at least managing the gap over Mains, not letting Garrett get too close. Oh, Conklin, as soon as I say that, makes a little bit of a mistake through the back straightaway chicane. But overall, he hasn't let Mains have a big opportunity. This is a little bit different than Watkins Glen. I feel like the entire time at the Glen, Mains was just clearly better. Here, Mains gets close, but just can't make the move.
Mains right up to the bumper of Conklin, losing a little bit of time through the final chicane as they come down into the heartburn turn. It's like they're flip-flopping, man. Certain corners, you know, Mains is a little bit stronger than other corners. Conklin is a little bit better getting out of it. It's just, you're watching two different driving styles right now at play.
Yeah, I think Mains is a little bit better overall, but we all know it. We all know it in these cars. Just a little bit better is not enough better to make the pass. And right now, it's just not enough for Garrett. He can't get to the back bumper. But I do think he is ever so slightly quicker. If he got the clean air, I think that he would probably pull away from Conklin at like 0.2 a lap. Ooh, is that the 9?
That is the 9 machine.
Fraser Wilshaw on the front straightaway coming out of the last chicane here. Coming back down across the start-finish line. We're going to get a look at a replay. See what happened to Wilshaw here.
Wheel hop or curbs? What's your bet?
Oh, that's a wheel hop right there.
Wheel hop right there.
And then the wheels really hopped. Whenever we got a little bit further into that.
What's happening there is he's just coming in the corner. It's, you know, you got to drop the gears, kind of let the car ride on the engine brake. But sometimes you drop them a little too much or you have a little bit too much rear bias in it. Next thing you know, those back tires start chattering, and it's away she goes from there. Then when you got a ramp of a curb sitting there, it doesn't help any. Edstrom, I had no idea you were a little girl, by the way.
They're wrecking on the front straightaway. Everybody can ignore chat for however long you would like. We should just delete that. We don't tolerate slander around these parts.
That's all we do around here. What are you talking about? See Buchanan get in there, a little hot. Flip that curb the wrong way, and around he goes. Didn't do too much damage, though.
That's about what it would look like if it was Gage behind the wheel of one of these things, except it would have hit a whole hell of a lot harder.
See that advantage for Conklin right now, still sitting around 0.4 of a second. I can't help but to think that Maines is just kind of toying with him right now. I feel like Maines can actually get the thing, get the job done. Like he's just playing a little bit of head games with Conklin, trying to get him to wear his stuff up a little bit.
I don't know. It's been going so back and forth. I just feel like the two guys are extremely even. I don't think there's much between the two at this point. Only 25% of the way through. So still a long ways to go. Who takes care of the tires better is definitely going to play a part into it. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I think the pit lap going to play a big part as well. Who gets caught in traffic? Can you get through clean? A lot of strategy is going to play into who wins this one.
He's 4th place. Matt Baker in that 98 machine. He's been somebody that's kind of been working his way into the mix these last handful of weeks. Didn't talk about him a whole lot early in the season, but really looks like he's got something going in the right direction here now.
Yeah, Matt running up in the 4th place spot. Pretty good run so far. Still a long time to go, or a long ways to go. So got to make sure he doesn't make any type of mistake. But I don't know how much tire wear is going to come into play. Like, I think it's definitely going to be a little bit of a thing, but as long as you don't completely tear them up, if you're running 4th right now, I don't see you slipping back any further than, 6 by the time this thing ends, unless you completely, completely destroy your race car. So I think Matt's pretty safe right now, running in 4th. Pretty good showing from him so far. Only 2 seconds off of Roman. Could even find himself onto the podium.
Garcia with another strong run, too, another week in a row. Sitting there in 5th place right now, just a second back from Matt Baker in 4th. Another one of those guys that's just been really turning on the heat here in the later stages of the season as we come to the end of the year for A-Open. Can't think of a car that stands out more than that black and Dayglow green 57.
Yeah, anytime I see Garcia, I just know immediately. I'm like, oh, that one's recognizable. Unfortunately, there are other cars that are just as recognizable, the Ryco cars, but they're unfortunately all running the exact same paint scheme. So that kind of takes that away a little bit. Whenever one of them goes spinning, you don't quite know who it is immediately.
It looks like green on my monitor. Sorry about that. I'm learning my colors today too, guys.
It looks more green to me too. I don't think you should listen to our producer. That's
producer
not a pure yellow.
Who paints cars and can't tell colors apart. It's always fun.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. Yeah. Don't go to Austin, Derbyshire to paint your schemes.
There's different shades of green there, Hoss.
He doesn't know shades of colors. This is scary. What do they teach you in Canada?
Oh my God, is Darby a dog? A little bit of wheel hop coming into turn 1 there. Around goes one of the number 1 machines.
Hey, who was that?
I'm not sure. I'm about to...
That paint scheme is
it was
not
Nippers.
One that I'm familiar with.
Neat looking paint.
Nippers unfortunately started on the back row and currently running in the last place position after that spin, putting them the only car a lap down currently. 14 laps completed. Still a good chunk of the way to go. Or I should say 13 laps completed, 31 to go. Sean Conklin led every single lap so far. Can he hang on? Maines has been chasing him down ever so slightly. I feel like he's caught back up, but hasn't been able to do anything.
One or two, how much of a factor the dirty air is really throwing for Garrett Maines there in 2nd spot, because we saw it at Watkins Glen how big of an issue it was. And I can only imagine that it's probably even more exaggerated here than it is at Watkins Glen, right?
I mean, it could be. Like, I don't know. Watkins Glen, you're probably faster for more of the racetrack.
right now, sitting at 2.5 tenths between your first two here. Then pretty much throughout the field, everybody's just walked off from the guy in front of them. They catch up to the 22. Oh, contact! There it is.
Conklin getting into a lap car there. The 22 getting past, coming back on the start-finish line. Both the leaders getting by, but that was close. Close call there for the two race leaders as Zach Martin getting lapped.
A little bit of contact with the yellow monster car, as our producer just said. A little bit of damage to the right front for Conklin. That's really going to hurt him because now Maines is there with a clean car.
That could be all it takes. That could be the difference. I mean, if that's half a tenth, that's all Maines is going to need to get by.
Oh, and Maines is taking advantage of this too, all over the back bumper of Conklin as they come back out onto the oval here. A huge shot as they come up into the bank turns 1 and 2. Oh, but Maines up into the fence.
I think he can smell the blood in the water. Maybe pushing a little too hard right off the bat. Coming back down the back straightaway. Conklin with the damage to the right front. Is it bad enough? We've seen him drive back to the race win with a lot more damage than that at the Chicago street race. Now he had a bigger lead.
Broken toe links
for sure, but
cracked radiator.
We'll have to wait and see. Garrett Maines closing back up to the back bumper, coming back down the front straightaway where Conklin had the issue last time. 2 more lap cars right in front. Justin Levine, one of them, going to the outside, letting the 2 leaders pass him by on the inside. Both lap cars getting out of the way, allowing Conklin and Maines to continue their run in the race lead.
Honestly, I was expecting a little bit more there. Conklin stabilizing. Also, Levine pit about 10 or so laps back. I think maybe fixed a little bit of damage, but he's back out there on a fresher stuff, technically speaking.
I have a William Byron win. I feel like because he's already locked in, he's gonna not play for the stage points and go for the win. He'll flip the stages while everybody else in the playoffs doesn't have to. I feel like the playoff road courses are a little weirder.
No faith in the Giz?
Oh, is he running? I thought it was just AJ.
Nope. Shane Van Gisbergen is running a cup car.
He'll have a chance. He'll have a chance, but I don't know. Front 2 coming down into turn number 1. Conklin still holding on to the race lead. Before we come down for our green flag pit stops, we're going to take our first commercial break. Be sure to stay with us. Got a lot more racing on the other side.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday night top split from the Charlotte Roval. Conklin. God,
No, it's Sheldon.
Sean Conklin. No, Sheldon would never be in the race lead in the top split. It's definitely Sean Conklin up in the race lead. Garrett Maines in the second place position. Sheldon Atkins is my co-commentator that doesn't know how to get around racetracks. Sheldon, how you doing?
I'm confused. I don't know where I'm supposed to turn. No, I'm doing great, man. But, yeah, I'm doing great. I don't know. Didn't have anything else.
You sound great.
I feel great.
Nicholas Roman, 13 seconds off the race lead, make it 14 in the third place position. Matt Baker not too far off his back bumper, 2 seconds back. So Baker not letting Roman get away, could still challenge for that third place position. And Richard Garcia also within tow in fifth. So the top five, at least the podium positions, right? There's a challenge for first, and there's a challenge, or potential challenge, I should say, for third by the end of this thing. Nearing the halfway point.
Megazit having a pretty quiet night right now. Clean so far up here in the sixth position. A little bit of crinkle, it looks like, on the left front of that car, but doing a pretty good job holding a steady wheel, keeping this thing around here and keeping it in one piece.
I feel like that's what Tommy needs, though, right? There's a lot of times that I feel like he's got some speed, has a good running position coming to the end of the thing, coming into the end of the race, I should say, but just has something go wrong towards the end. So here, running quietly in the sixth place position. If I'm Tommy, I got to see that as a win if he can keep it up.
One car slub against the fence there. Saw Tommy get by him. Not quite sure who that is. Bianchini right there behind Tommy, about a second or 3 seconds back. Slide there for Pierce coming out of the chicane on the front straightaway here, down into turn number 1. Not charging through the field like I was expecting them to tonight, but keeping it in one piece. That's all that matters when you come here to the Roval.
Yeah, if you're not in like a big fight for a position or a very important spot, then I feel like just run in your own little bubble. Don't make a mistake. Improve. You know, you can practice within the race and get a little bit better, get a little bit faster. Just don't over push the limits. I feel like there's a good point in coming out here, just running a good race, finishing 8th place for Roger Pierce, right? If he just runs on through.
Torrance, big slide in 1-2.
Yeah, that was huge for your 9th place runner coming back onto the oval. Thought he might have lost that thing, but he hangs on as he comes down the back straightaway.
He slid so hard he scared his internet provider. Did you see that?
Oh, Shug Nessie getting in the way of your race leader.
I hate it here. Shaughnessy getting a huge shot, though, from the front bumper of Sean Conklin. Going to move him out of the way here as they come back onto the oval, out of the infield road course.
I love it whenever the nicknames just come naturally, right? Like, it's not something that we planned. It's not something we intentionally came up with. Something that was a happy little accident. Oh, the two race leaders come together. Main's too late in the braking zone. The 10 maybe a little slow as they were getting lapped, and Maine's just about pile drove Conklin. The 54 has more damage.
That could have been very, very hairy. You see a little more damage on the front end of that 54 machine.
Yeah, man, that front end doesn't look good. I know this is not the most aero-dependent racetrack on the circuit, but it doesn't help.
But he did get a huge advantage, though, because of all that. Maine's still back there fighting with some lap cars. He's going to fall back a second before he's able to find his way past that 10 machine. Nice little buffer right now for Conklin. The biggest the advantage has been to the lead this entire race so far.
He's got a buffer, but he's also he's carrying a wound, right? That front end is squished. I don't know what the driver of the 54 can do. I feel like that thing's going to be a little tight, especially through the faster corners. You see coming out on the oval, he pancakes it against the outside wall. I think he's really struggling mid-corner to get that thing to rotate.
Garrett gaining a huge amount of time, though, on the high-speed sections of the track. That clean nose really going to bring him right back up there to the back bumper of Sean Conklin. But still only 0.9 of a second. Dropping it back down to 8 here.
Yeah, good luck to Sean.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. Oh, he's
Sean's
gonna pit.
Sean's on the pits.
I'm surprised he's going with the undercut here, but he's going to be coming down pit road on lap 23. Garrett Main's coming across the start finish line just about now. As we take on lap number 24 now as your race leader, the guy that's led the whole way, Sean Conklin, with nose damage down pit road.
Heavy damage at that. I hope he didn't get meatballed somehow.
No, there's no way, right?
I got a meatball at Talladega last week for bump drafting somebody, so.
Well, okay.
Tommy Gossett bringing it in.
That's more internet stuff, right? So I feel like this one was clearly not, so I feel like he should be okay.
Gossett down pit road right now, going to throw on 4 tires and some fuel. Oh, big slide out of the 7.
Conklin was down pit road for a long time. Like,
yeah.
a good chunk of time.
I think I might have been right.
He had something. I don't think he's going to be anywhere close to Garrett Main's after Main's pits.
32 seconds in the box. So, yeah, that would mean that he had required repairs. A heartbreak for Sean Conklin. It's so devastating when you're out there leading, you're doing everything you can to keep the guy behind you at bay, and then, you just get it taken away by lap cars. And we saw the same thing happen to him at Chicago. He was fortunate enough to limp it around the track to finish it off. But not so lucky today. And that's, barring any acts of God, that's pretty much going to hand this thing to Garrett Main, so long as he can keep it between the lines, which I have total faith in Garrett Main's keeping it between the lines at a road course.
It's a tight racetrack in a lot of sections, especially coming down the front straightaway, down into 1 and 2. The entire infield, it's relatively small, not a lot of racing surface. So whenever something happens or you come up on a lap car, it can be very difficult. And unfortunately, it has bit your race leader, Sean Conklin, who is going to be fortunate to finish second after all this, honestly. Oh, well, was that Conklin there? Completely calling it quits. Sean Conklin exiting out of the race. Not quite sure what brought that on.
See what happened here.
Compounding issues maybe coming down to turn number 1.
Read it here through 1. A little scrape on the wall. And I don't think that was enough to do.
Might have happened a little earlier, and he kept it going for a little ways.
Spent a lot of time going backwards here.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he just felt the damage and was like, this isn't worth it, so he called it quits.
Yeah, I think
that's what we're going to have to go with.
How far behind he was because of the damage and how so to speak, pointless of what to stay out there. Yeah, but if you're gonna finish 5th and you were up there battling for the win, I mean, that'd be a little PO'd. Might want to just call it a night. I know I've been there before.
Rest in peace to the iRating. But everybody else in the lobby said thank you, Sean. Thank you for leaving, sir. We appreciate your contribution. It's going to move a couple guys up the running order, though. Nicholas Roman up into 2nd, Matt Baker into 3rd, Richard Garcia 4th, Roger Pierce into the top 5. That was your pick. I kind of made fun of it because he was starting so far back. But also, Roger Pierce has gone from 16th to 5th. I still don't think he's going to win, but hey, good job, Roger.
We got a battle shaking up right now, though. Matt Baker and Richard Garcia, the battle for 3rd place, starting to form. Both these guys, as they both bring it down pit road as well, but Garcia was right there before they came down to pit road, so it'll be interesting to see how this thing shakes out. There's Roger Pierce
coming through to take the 3rd place position from these guys as they're on pit road. Obviously, he's going to have to give it back here in a few moments. Everybody's going to have to make that pit stop. Matt Baker, Richard Garcia coming out of pit road side by side, just barely making it inside of the line, preventing a penalty, but they're still side by side, coming through 3 and 4. Matt Baker trying to take the spot, but Garcia's not going to let him have it. Still side by side out of 4.
Garcia going to use every inch of the runoff, trying to make as much momentum as he can here. Going to get the outside of Baker as they come into the double right-hander, but here comes Baker back on the bottom. But this is going to hand the bottom line back to Garcia here as we get ready to cut through back onto the track. He's going to give Garcia the spot as they come back onto the oval.
Tough battle for the last podium spot between these two. Matt Baker losing out to Richard Garcia, coming out on the colder tires, I suppose. Just losing a little bit of grip, losing a little bit of focus there for Matt Baker, not able to get back into his rhythm. But
here comes Baker back on the bump.
Garcia, maybe just, I don't feel like you can do it through that corner in this car, though, right? It's just not, it's not going to be a big enough hit to actually get you loose.
Say one thing, Baker was trying it.
It's like, thank you for propelling me forward. That's what I feel like, or all it really is. It doesn't really do much to hurt.
And Baker making a lot of mistakes right now too. Huge brake lock up into the chicane right before the start-finish line. Then a huge slide out of the chicane into the fence.
Garrett Maines and Nicholas Roman still have not pitted up in 1st and 2nd. Your current leaders. But Richard Garcia, Matt Baker, even after the pit stop, lined up in the 3rd and 4th place spot. Just half of a second separating the two. Trying to battle it out for the last podium position. Garcia currently has it and starting to stretch that gap out ever so slightly.
Yeah, Garcia is starting to walk away from Baker here. I mean, Garcia was faster at the end of that run. So I think he found something that, Baker's kind of lacking right now, and it's really working out for him in that 3 machine. See Payson back there, and there's a Bianchini in that 7 machine. He's running 9th at the moment. Payson 21st, 3 laps down. Rough day for him.
Still waiting on the green flag pit stops to cycle through. A couple guys have not made their pit stop. Your race leader coming down the back straightaway right now. Roger Pierce coming down pit road out of NASCAR 4. Does Pierce hang on to the lead lap as he comes down pit road with Garrett Maines storming around the oval right now?
Maines doing what he does his best here at these road courses, putting on an absolute clinic for the rest of the field. See him right behind the lap machine. Give him a little bit of room here. Going to give him the bottom. He passed 23s, spun out up there. Looks like the chicane in the back straight. That's front straight. Never mind. No, it's back. I
was
got
about to say, you were right the first time, buddy. This is a back straightaway. Just locking her up a little bit, and then saying I'm gonna turn hard into the outside wall.
And somebody followed him. And that's why you base your braking points on reference points on the track and not the car in front of you. Because odds are that guy in front of you doesn't know where he is either.
You don't want to follow the guy in front of you exactly where they're braking. Somebody that probably hasn't put any practice into this. You don't want to trust that person.
No, not at all. I don't trust anybody on the track with me at any point. For good reason.
I'd have to agree with you. Not too many trustworthy people out there on the track in the iRacing service, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's cutthroat. You watch Garcia still in a little bit of a battle with Baker. This is for third place. Baker not really losing sight of that 57 machine of Garcia.
Not losing sight of them, but not gaining either, as we see the three
that's
around,
a rough one.
a little bit of more contact, and contact with the wall.
Something was broke on the 3 there. That rear end was knocked out.
The Heavily machine going heavy head on into the fence, coming out of turn 8.
Hard into that fence, and you see right there, I think it broke the rear end. You see the rear toe knocked out. And sadly, the 18 car just nowhere to go. A blind corner. You can't really see, when there's a car parked there in front of you until it's too late.
Tough break for Dave Long. Dave was having a decent run and getting taken out something outside of his control. Just not able to dodge the wreck. Tough break. Justin Levine running in 13th with the battered machine. So decent run, all things considered. Looking through the field, Lawrence Shugnessy running in the 9th place position in the top 10, even with some good right front damage. That poor hoof is hurt, but we are not putting her down.
Crying over here.
Oh, Shugnessy! Through the dirt. Through the turf on the infield, just completely butchered the last chicane there. Right as we were talking about him. Just made a big mistake. Luckily, lucky to hang on to that thing.
You're giving me heartburn right now, buddy.
Why's that?
I think we've reached brain rot. We didn't even make it through the cup race.
No, it's just a nickname because you don't know how to speak. It works.
Oh, yeah, y'all pay me to speak, and I can't even do that. So look at Roman right now, second place, 22 seconds back from Garrett Maines. Oh, nearly 23. Oh, around.
Right in front of Lawrence. I believe that was a lap car that went around.
Yep.
Tim Machine of Trevor Baxter, he's got a little bit of a toe problem. He's crab walking down the back straightaway.
I thought Sam Hornish was back for a second. I'm getting loose there on the transition.
Where'd it break? I'm so confused what the problem is.
Sorry, my daughter's yelling at us right now.
Why did this thing break? Did he hit anything? I didn't see him hit anything.
I think he broke something. It had to have been prior.
Well, he hit the wall entering, and I think it broke something in the right front.
I can't think of many places I'd like to have a broken car at less than here, but
either way, we're still waiting for the race leaders to come down pit road as Tommy Gossa makes a move, but we're going to go ahead and take our final commercial break of the A Open. Whenever we come back, we're going to take this thing to the checkered flag.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday night top split. We got the A Open going on live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Charlotte Roval here in the next gen. Lap 36 out of 44. Garrett Maines has taken his one and only pit stop. Still 26 seconds in the race lead after Sean Conklin took himself out of contention with an incident with some lap cars earlier in the race.
Now, Roman, 27 seconds back in second place, running a good, clean race, staying out of trouble, keeping it one piece. Solid podium, decent advantage to Baker, who's behind him by about 10 seconds. No more worries for him. And here we are looking at Baker right now, third place, 35 seconds back from your race leader, Garrett Maines, as he goes to battle with the 9 machine here. Not going to say his name. I'm not going to say his name. Shugnessy. And there's Garcia right behind Baker. Garcia losing that spot back to Baker. Baker coming on strong here into the later stages of this race. Garcia just putting another good top 5 performance together. And here is that pass. See Baker all over the back bumper of the 57 machine. Garcia. Garcia, a little bit of a lockup coming into the uphill on that double right-hander. Going to lose him a handful of spots as the lap car Levine gets in front of him.
Garcia back to 4th after the pit stop, so Baker up in the 3rd place position. Now he's hanging on to that last podium spot. Can he actually succeed this time, or is he going to give it back to him?
I think there's so much of a cushion right now. I don't think Garcia is going to be able to get to him easily. Unless Baker makes a big mistake, because right now, a handful of laps left. They're kind of in that position now where they're riding with what they got left on the tires. We are looking at Tommy right now. A solid top 5 position for him. That number 80 Gossett Ryco machine. Quiet day for Tommy. And I think that's what he wants more than anything right now after a rough handful of races here in the past couple weeks.
Are you trying to jinx him?
I'm not trying to jinx him, but anytime I talk about him, I do, so.
That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about. I'm just super worried that now that we're talking about, you know, him having a quiet day with 6 laps left, you know, we're getting kind of close to the end. I'm kind of worried bringing it up. It's going to derail him. Not too much time left for Tommy to ruin it, but I'm afraid now. He's got 3 seconds to hang on to 5th. Don't want to overstep the boundaries just a little bit.
Yep. Also, Torrance having a good solid position right now in 6th place with Bianchini right behind him in 7th.
We're going to go to a really quick Ryco Rev It Up. Garrett Maines having a near miss just moments ago through turns 1 and 2. Had a lap car careen off of the inside wall, bounce across the racetrack, right in front of your race leader's path, right after having a moment on the front straightaway.
Yeah, that was an absolute code brown for Garrett Maines. Watch that number 1 Buster's Corner machine just get dead loose in the first section here, hard into the fence, and just inches away from your race leader.
Yeah, Jake Nipper is not having a good night. Not having a good night so far.
Well, the good news for Nipperus is his night is I think it's pretty much over for him. So you can go sit down and think about it.
Yeah, there's not much coming back from that. Now these things are tanks, so maybe as long as you don't hit the wheel, like what happened to Sean apparently earlier, if you just tap the wall a little bit too hard or tap a car a little bit too hard in the wrong direction on the wheel, you might die. But as long as you hit the body, you can hit the nose flat, 50 miles an hour, head onto the wall, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Right now we're watching Garrett Maines just cruise his way around here. 4 laps to go. Try to keep the thing one piece. Don't get, knocked out by these lap cars. Run smart lines and bring it home. As you see, the lappers are doing everything they can to scare the absolute hell out of them right now. One riding the grass.
He's got a 30-second lead. He can back it down if he needs to, right?
Oh, yeah.
No reason to push it too hard.
He could spin it and run out of gas right now and still be in good spot. Another incident here, the 00 machine. Billy Brickley.
Oh, coming through 2, just a little loose, and gonna pull over and say good night. I'm done. You all have fun.
Might have been a penalty for off tracks we saw there.
He actually had an incident right before it, so we're going to get to see exactly what happened to the 00 coming down to the front straightaway chicane. And just overdid it and hit the outside wall. Probably a lot of right front damage. Didn't think it was worth it at this point to come down and fix it. So one more retiree at the end of this thing. 3 laps to go for Garrett Maines.
Garrett Maines so strong on the road courses, has been all year. Another night, another road course, another dominating performance for him so far. Looks like he's got a nice advantage here to the... he definitely has a nice advantage to the rest of the field, but it looks like he's got pretty much clean track in front of him. I'm not seeing many lap cars on the bubble that I think he'd be able to get to before this thing's over. And to our producer's point, Edstrom, have you been practicing the sponsor reads for Maines?
I have. I've got it. I've got it perfect. I hope.
All right.
I'm just kidding. We're going to let him do it. I don't like the pressure.
You disappoint us all.
I'll just surprise you at a random moment. Never.
Now watching Garcia, 30 seconds back from third place, Baker. I think Baker's basically got himself locked up here into this third place spot, so long as he doesn't make any huge mistakes. But good race out of both of these guys.
Yeah, Baker prevailing over the pit cycle into the top 3, the final podium position. Looking like it's going to go the way of Matt Baker in the third place spot right now. 2 laps to go for him. Just now taking the line, crossing over to that point, your race leader. Coming through NASCAR 1 and 2. And now down the back straightaway. A lap and a half to go for Garrett Maines.
Yeah, and also for Baker, too, it's a good little confidence boost, right? You're the guy in front of you, the 2 in front of you, you got Garrett Maines out there absolutely dominating. You know he's going to do that. You got Vroman in second, who is only he's been about 4 to 6 seconds ahead of you the entire race. And you've been pretty much equalized with him. That's a good little confidence boost for that, 8 machine of Baker.
By right, flag
Yeah.
is flying. 1 lap to go in the Ryco Performance Monday night top split A Open. Garrett Maines, your race leader. And it's a 35-second gap that he's got over the field. Nicholas Vroman in second, Matt Baker in third. Cam Baker hang on to third. I think it's a guarantee just about that Garrett Maines is going to be hanging on to the race leader here tonight.
Yeah, Maine's basically on cruise control as he comes uphill into the double right-hander right before we get onto the back onto the oval. Huge advantage over the rest of the field. Basically just has this thing absolutely locked up, and such a great performance out of him tonight. Unfortunate for Sean Conklin, who I really think would have been a fun show to watch these two try to decide it, but going to go into the hands of Maines here as they come down the back straightaway into the chicane.
Coming down to the braking zone of the backstretch chicane for the final time.
Oh, no!
Maines
No, he missed it.
actually going a little bit too far, but he's going to play it safe. Just kind of go through the center. He's going to take the slowdown. It's not going to be too big of a deal. 35-second lead. That slowdown is not going to be that long. I think that was a smarter decision there. Don't go bowling. Don't go bowling on the last lap, buddy. Not with that big of a lead. It's not worth it. Garrett Maines doing the smart thing, backing off from the craziness. Coming to the checker, Garrett Maines is going to win the Ryco Performance Monday night top split here tonight. The A Open is done and dusted, at least for the race leader. Nicholas Roman still coming down the back straightaway into the backstretch chicane that we just about saw Garrett Maines throw the race away in. Roman all by himself, though, coming around NASCAR 3 and 4. Looking like he's going to be able to easily take the second place spot.
Yeah, Broman's got her locked up right now. Here comes Baker, though, through the chicane. Down here onto the front straightaway. Sew up that P3 position for that machine. And here comes Garcia right behind to finish fourth.
Tommy Gossett, you said it earlier. Quiet night. Quiet night for Tommy Gossett. That's what Tommy needed. We've seen it time and time again. His good nights just getting ruined. Here tonight, though. In the top split race, Tommy Gossett's going to come across in the 5th place position. Hard-earned 5th place for Tommy Gossett, but one that he needed desperately. A couple more guys coming across the finish line. Spencer Torrance in 6th. Guillermo Bianchini in 7th. And Roger Pierce is going to be the last guy on the lead lap, coming home in 8th.
Good run for Pierce. Picked up 8 spots in this thing, and we saw how hard it was for people to really make passes all night. Bringing it home 8th spot. Good drive for him. There's your race
Garrett
winner.
Maines. Yeah, your race winner, Garrett Maines, coming down to the start-finish line. I don't know if he's going to do a little bit of celebration. Here he goes, kicking it off, doing some donuts, perhaps. But regardless, we're going to take our final little commercial break of the A Open. Whenever we come back, we're going to have interviews with the top 3. Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday night top split. We've just finished up the A Open, and we're having some fun with our standings. Garrett Maines is your race winner here tonight from the Charlotte Roval. Second place, Nicholas Roman. Matt Baker in third. Richard Garcia in fourth. Tommy Gossett fifth. Spencer Torrance sixth. Guillermo Bianchini in seventh. Roger Pearson eighth. Sean Rogers in ninth. And Steve Buchanan rounds out the top 10.
In 11th place, we got Lawrence Shignussi, followed by Justin Levine in 12th. One heck of a recovery for him after getting damaged early in this thing. Followed by Kevin Bernheimer in 13th. 14th is going to be Steve Martini with 15th place, Justin Selway Jr. 16th is going to be Daniel Edblad, followed by John Payson in 17th. Jake Nipperis is going to bring it home in P18, followed by Billy Brickley in 19th. And running out your top 20 is going to be Zach Martin.
21st, Trevor Baxter. 22nd, Daniel Wiles. 23rd, Dave Long. 24th, Sean Conklin, after leading so much of this race. 25th, Fraser Wilshaw. And rounding out the 26 car field, it's going to be PB Henry. That's going to do it for the full field rundown. And we did get in contact with our full top 3. So we're going to go ahead and pull up our third place finisher here tonight, Matt Baker. Matt, it was a great run from you to come home in third tonight from the Charlotte Roval. You were going back and forth with Richard Garcia there for many laps. You ended up losing that position, but getting it back through that green flag pit stop cycle, what kind of propelled you to be able to get back around him and take home the third place spot tonight?
I mean, it was a great race between me and him. I had a pretty embarrassing moment coming off pit road, almost pile drove the wall there, and just was able to stay with him, and I noticed he was kind of pushing, get a little loose out of the corner, so I just kind of waited and, took my time and kind of did the little fake dive on him going into, 4 there, and he ran wide, and then it was just head down and try to keep it straight, and we managed to do that. So it was a fun race. I didn't expect to come home with a third at all. Fortunately, some people in front of me ended up getting wrecked, so should have been a fourth, but we'll take a third any day. I mean, it's my first third top podium in SOF and anything like that, so it's cool.
Well, Matt, congratulations on the top 3 here tonight. Who do you have to thank?
Obviously Ryco on the side of the car. I've been running their setups for probably about 15 weeks now is when I got back into the Cup car here, and it was a game changer. It's just they're fast. They really allow me to have the opportunity to race with some of the best guys around here, and it's really fun. So.
Well, Matt, congratulations on the top 3 finish here tonight. Not too far away from second either, only 6 seconds up the road. So really great run from you here tonight from the Charlotte Roval. Looking forward to seeing if you can get a couple more of these kind of finishes in by the end of the season.
Yeah, we'll see. We came close with Bristol. We came close with Kansas, I think with a 7th and a 6th. We had a 4th at Richmond earlier in the year. So maybe we'll get lucky here, or we'll get a good track, and maybe we'll do this again.
Well, thanks for coming up and talking to us here, Matt, and good luck going forward here these next couple races to end out the year.
All right, I appreciate it.
All righty, that was your third place finisher, Matt Baker. Next up, Sheldon Atkins is going to get to talk to Mr. Third Place no more. It's going to be Nicholas Roman.
And Nicholas Roman, another solid, sneaky podium finish here at a road course. Tell me about your day a little bit, man.
Well, it's just another fucking day on the road courses. Just I think I finished with a 0x, so that's probably why I finished second. Well, I finished second because Sean does what he does. He's just overdriving and fucked up. So I feel sorry for him, man. He put a lot of work in. Probably had a good chance to beat Garrett, so I do feel sorry for him. But his loss is my gain, so who cares? But yeah, just another road course, just cruising around. Keep my distance between Matt Baker, so he didn't, get too close and. Yeah, just get the car out of trouble.
Did you find anything out that's going to help you with the Friday night SOF NIS?
No, absolutely nothing. The only thing I figured out is just do what I do and don't fucking wreck, and maybe we'll talking to you again. That's about it. But yeah, I don't know how these guys, I was hanging with them pretty good early, 5-10 laps. I was like 2-3 seconds back. I could still see him. I was happy, and then next thing you know, he's like, I don't see him anymore. So maybe I figure out how to keep the pace a little longer, but. I'm good with third or second. It's fine.
Yeah, man. Well, another solid podium finish. Who do you want to thank for this one tonight?
Thanks, Sean, man, and Ken. I think they put a lot of work in this week on the set, so it was pretty good. If I could finish up here, so it's obviously pretty good. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody on track, man. Lap traffic it was pretty good, man. Everyone got out of the way, so no complaints to lap traffic, and Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for coming here and talking to us tonight. Looking forward to seeing you in Friday night.
Alrighty. Catch you later.
Right, that was your second place finisher, Nicholas Vroman. Next up, we're going to talk to the guy that wins most of these things, it seems, these days, Garrett Maines. Garrett, you were in a spirited battle for a good chunk of this race with Sean, but like Vroman said at the end of his interview, Sean does what Sean does and overdrove just a little bit and unfortunately got a little bit of damage. What were you thinking in that moment? Did you think, you're going to have a hard-pressed race to the finish, or were you expecting him to overstep his boundaries at some point?
I don't know. I mean, I was trying to force him into that mistake, but I mean, he was doing a pretty good job of holding his own. I mean, our pace was on the limit the whole time. It was who made less mistakes, not who made none. So, I don't know. It sucks for him for sure. He didn't really kill it that hard, but I do know that wall is not one you want to nose into. So I was just glad it wasn't me. I thought for a moment maybe I'd given it to him in the previous chicane, just because like he was judging for the guy not braking like we were, and I'll be honest with you, from 10 car lengths back, I was not compensating for that in just random slam over. But yeah, it was a good battle while it lasted, that's for sure.
After that, it was basically smooth sailing. What kind of goes through your mind in that moment? Are you pushing yourself, trying to get a little bit better at the course, almost treating it like practice, or are you just kind of managing your gap at that point, just not really pushing whatsoever, just managing, knowing, hey, Roman's 30 seconds back, let's not do anything too crazy?
I was kind of in disbelief when it first happened, but I started to try to push myself to get faster times, just like you said, use it as practice. It's quite a bit different than the Xfinity car that we're maybe gonna make a grid and go here in it, but I thought it'd be a good session to try to learn a little bit more for this Wednesday and the Friday race, so see what we got then.
Oh, heard it here first. Going for the back-to-back tonight. Like to hear it, Garrett. Congratulations on your win here tonight. Who do you have to thank at the end of this one?
Yeah, I got to give a huge shout out to Scott at MCU Body, Linux, the guys at Ryco Performance for all of their support. Hopefully we'll get a rematch here with Sean in a minute. We'll see if he wants to do the grid and go with me. I'm on the struggle bus here, but we got about 5 minutes to figure it out.
Well, Garrett, congratulations on winning here in the A Open. Looking forward to seeing if you can pull off the double here tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Alrighty, that was your race winner, Garrett Maines. Gonna wait just a little ways and see if he can pull off the back-to-back. Sheldon, the A Open just now finishing up. We're gonna close up shop here for just a few minutes and then pop back up with the B Open. Gonna be coming up in about 10 minutes. So stay with us, grab a drink, grab a soda, grab some popcorn, and come right back. We'll be back. Welcome back for some more Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. We got the B Open coming at you live. The Xfinity cars coming around the Charlotte Roval in just a few moments. I'm Austin Edstrom, standing alongside Sheldon Atkins, and Austin Derbyshire is behind the production booth as always. On to our second race out of 2 on the night. Sheldon, is there anything different to expect here with the B cars?
Yeah, so these cars significantly less downforce, not on the independent rear suspension like we have with the Cup cars nowadays. Basically, what you're going to be looking for is you're going to be looking at a lot more nervous cars, a lot more difficulty getting into the brake zones, a lot more wheel hop issues. Basically, all the problems that you feel with the Cup car, amplify those by 10, and here we are.
That's what I like to hear. It sounds like a race car.
Yeah,
Almost like how they're supposed to act.
What, you don't like slot cars?
Wait. Race cars are supposed to be challenging?
Huh. Somebody better tell the Francis
I thought
that.
I was supposed to be able to jump into the next gen and be able to run within a second of Kyle Larson at a mile and a half. I thought that was the goal. Either way, we're going to move into our broadcast picks before we go off onto a really bad tangent. I'm on Denny Hamlin's side. Either way, going into our broadcast picks, I'm going with Trent Dinkle. Doing the dink, or you know the drill. Trent Dinkle.
You just broke yourself, man.
2 in the pink, 1 in the
dink.
dink. There it is.
I'm about to go with that number 3 machine of Adriano Gomez, man. Always so good when we come to the road courses. I feel like he's going to be pretty solid tonight.
He's mostly consistent, right? Week in, week out. And it looks like he's qualified up in 3rd, so I don't think that's a bad pick. Maybe the top 2 qualifiers take each other out and give Adriano an opportunity.
He runs good on these road courses. He's a good bet, especially since we're not allowed to pick Garrett Maines.
That's a good point. We're not, and you can't. I mean, it's just not fair at this point. But Garrett wasn't even close to getting the pole, to be fair. I mean, yeah, he was in 2nd place, but over 2.5 tenths off of Trent Dinkle. What a lap from 2 in the pink. Garrett Maines in 2nd. 3rd place, Adriano Daguar, Gomez, Nolan Hodgson lining up in the outside in 4th. Robert Clifford lining up in 5th. Excuse me. Clinton Engle in 6th. Andrew Bogus in 7th. Dan Ball on the outside in 8th. Brandon Minto lining up in the 9th place position with Ryan Cantillano in 10th.
In 11th place, we got Dennis Nickel, followed by Mitchell Watson in 12th. 13th is going to be Fidel Rutledge with Blair Wickett in 14th. 15th is going to be Antoinette Horton with 16th being John Price. 17th is going to be Matt Lockwood with Josiah Opsahl in 18th. 19th is going to be Dylan Nilsson, and rounding out your top 20 is going to be Brad Davenport, followed by Mike O'Brien in 21st and 22nd. Shotgun on the field, Charles Watson.
So only a 22-car grid here tonight. Not too many contenders for the B Open, I gotta say. Not the biggest grid.
Man, look at that. Charlotte spent a lot of money getting the pace car for the Xfinity Series this year. Look at that. We got a Porsche.
Spending big dollars this year for the wrong race.
Anything but putting it back into the teams, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Whoops. Yeah, there's 2 opinions. One opinion that the team should have healthy finances, and the other opinion is just wrong.
I'd have to agree with you.
Look, man, I've spent, 20 years, 23, some odd time frame like that, pretty much as long as I've had consciousness, loving the sport, and God, I get tired of seeing teams I like having to shut down the doors because a sponsor backed out.
If I had something that made a absolute boatload of money, and I had a bunch of people that were working in that thing, and they were all losing money because of it, and I was making a ridiculous amount, I think, normally you got to balance that out a little bit, right? Doesn't that make a little bit of sense? No team turns a profit.
Welcome to NASCAR politics with me and Edstrom.
I hate them all. They're all dumb. Here's my take.
But who are they?
Everybody.
started to sing like we did Watkins Glen a few weeks ago.
Sometimes that's just the way it goes. 40 laps around the Charlotte Roval, and we're not even starting lap 1 yet. So we still got a ways to go. A lot of craziness to be had in the broadcast booth, that's for sure. Me and Sheldon might lose our minds 3, 4, maybe even 5 times.
Might even lose our jobs at some point. You never know.
I hope.
It's
I hope so. I'm just looking for Jose to rise out of the ashes and smite me down.
Yeah, he's busy sending me love letters.
Trent Dinkel, Garrett Maines up on the front row here as that beautiful Porsche is going to be pulling down onto the iRacing pit road here, coming down into the front straightaway chicane. Trent Dinkel going to get to the gas early, immediately, as we get down to the chicane and get clear to the race lead. Wanted to start this one quickly to the green flag. Dinkel to the race lead.
Dinkel to the lead here early, but Maines holding up pretty well through the first set of corners. Working into that advantage a little bit, but Dinkel going to get a really good run off the corner. Pretty solid looking. Well, no, because here comes Maines right back to him as they come uphill.
Maines all over the back bumper as we come into 5 and then into 6. Dinkel going a little defensive, making sure he has the inside line all the way around the racetrack. Don't give it up. Maines a little bit better.
Oh,
but
huge
a little bit of a
contact
switch there from Garrett Maines getting down onto the oval, giving up a ton of track position, or sorry, not track position, but time on the racetrack. Getting back to about 4/10 of a second there to your race leader now, Trent Dinkel.
That twitch was he got right into the back bumper of Trent Dinkel, and it caused the front end of the car to come unloaded. A really good move by Maines to keep that thing under him, because we've seen so many people this year, make that contact to the rear bumper and send themselves around. Good work for Maines, though, because that could have been really dicey here really quick.
Maines way later than Trent on the brakes, coming down the front stretch chicane, somehow gets to the back bumper. He was a good ways behind beforehand, and, well, Dinkel doesn't stretch the lead too much coming down the front stretch as we head down into turn number 1. Maines looking a little bit faster than Dinkel here on the short run.
What you're seeing right now, the difference in line. You see Maines doing such a good job using every possible inch of the racetrack as he gets down to the bottom of Dinkel. Not able to get down the power in time, though, to make a move. He's going to fall back in line here as we come back up into the uphill section. You see Maines sweeping a little bit wider and cutting a little bit, shallower on the corners, doing a really good job just getting good angles so that he can get that nose down there, and you're going to see him. He's probably going to take it here as we come into the oval.
Down to the inside is your 2 race leaders coming back onto the oval. Maines just looking a little freer in the nose, able to squeeze through to the inside of Trent Dinkel now as we come down to the back straightaway chicane. Maines going to go later on the brakes, take the race lead momentarily. Dinkel trying to prioritize the exit. They're going to get side by side once again as Maines overshot the entry. Dinkel's going to be taking the race lead back.
This is the battle we wanted to see a little bit ago, and getting to see it here early in the expanded race. No idea how long this is going to last. But right now, Dinkel holding it bat with Garrett Maines right all over his rear bumper.
Ooh.
Maines very aggressive over the turtles. Want to be careful about that. Don't want to tear the splitter off on these. A lot lower to the ground now since they updated the car a couple weeks ago.
I can't believe how much curb Garrett took there. I thought for sure that much blue curbing on the inside would spin you out. But, man, he proved me wrong. That was a ton of race car going over the turtles. Just about taking him out. And, well, he was able to keep that thing going straight and gained up a lot of time to the back bumper of Trent once again. Coming through 6, down into 7, and then into 8, coming back onto the NASCAR oval. Garrett's been good through here, back to the back bumper once again, but not close enough.
Yeah, Dinkel significantly better coming through here this time as opposed to the last lap. Going to get a little bit of an advantage over Garrett Maines. Going to pull him out to about 2.5 tenths. Maines going to close a little bit, though, as we come back here into the chicane. Now, who's going to be the first one to get too overzealous on the brakes? Oh, and there it is. Huge shot to the back of Dinkel. But it's going to push Trent through the chicane and give him a little bit of an advantage.
I just feel like that chicane for whatever reason. Yeah, honestly, in both cars, you've got to hit them just perfect to actually get any type of advantage. It's so narrow coming out of that corner. Even if you get them loose, it's not like you can really go anywhere with it.
It's pretty difficult to find an advantage anywhere on this track, I can tell you that much. Because you're
Well,
so, like, just in order to be fast, you're right on the limit of grip here, and it's more pronounced than most of the other road courses. The only thing that I can think that, is kind of more tricky than this would be Sonoma.
Oh, well, fair. I'm talking about on the edge. Sonoma, I feel like you're honestly driving under the edge at Sonoma. You're like, just don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. Here, going in the back straightaway chicane, just about a crash. Just a little bit of a rally cross to move over the turtles.
The Duke boys are at it again, I see. It's a 16 machine. I think that was Horton. Ankle up to a 4.5 advantage over second place Garrett Maines. They are 3 seconds ahead of third place Adriano Gomez. And based on how rough these two have been running up here at the front so far, I mean, Adriano could be very much into the catbird seat on this thing.
Just takes one get together from the front two, and Gomez will be right there. Right. I mean, these guys have been racing each other hard for the race lead. Dinkle is not going to pull over and give it up to Maines. Garrett's going to have to go up here and take it from him. So if they get together, Gomez, that pick that y'all both put down might be a pretty good one.
Riding on board with Garrett Maines now as we come through the infield. Doing a really good job. Just that double right-hander there at the start. Really good. Does a really good job getting up there to him, but loses it all on exit. I think we're doing a really good job just prioritizing that drive out of the corner. And so many times that's, the determining factor here on the road courses. I mean, I expect Maines to, once he gets into his rhythm, he's going to be pretty much impossible to beat. But Dinkle putting a really good fight to him so far.
Yeah, Garrett's been getting the nose to turn a little bit earlier in the corner, but I think he's getting back to the gas a little bit earlier because of that, and maybe it's just a little bit too early. Maybe he's getting the nose rotated just a little bit too quick. Now he's trying to get under Dinkle any way he can, so I feel like, wherever he gets close, he's trying to rotate to get under him, and it's a pretty tight racetrack in a lot of places, so it's tough to do it, but I don't know. It's going to have to take a lunge in a braking zone, I think, from Garrett to make it work. Somewhere like here on the front straightaway, if he can get to be right on his back bumper coming out of NASCAR 4, I think he's got a chance. Coming down to one here, though, all over the back bumper. Going to have to go to the outside, the long way around. And it's not going to happen.
Maines misses it.
Garrett too wide, almost ends his race. I think he kept it out of the fence, but that was tight for Garrett.
Just barely. That is a huge advantage for Dinkle. Maines getting just a little over aggressive. Stepped on his own toes there trying to get by Dinkle. Sent it way too wide and just about ripped the fence down in the process. Let's go give Dinkle a 2.5 seconds and growing lead over second place Garrett Maines.
I think Dinkle laid down some tinkle and he got Garrett loose coming down into the corner. Unfortunately, just got through the moisture and got a little sideways.
That was one of the things you've said of all time. That's for sure.
It was on the list. It was on the list.
It was on. I mean, you are on the list, but moving forward here, though, one thing that I think gets lost. We talk about Dinkle, we talk about team hype from time to time, just at how good they are on the ovals. One thing that gets forgotten is that is a road course focused team as well. Tommy Milner running the show over there for Team Hype. All those guys have ran in multiple 24-hour races, 12-hour races, Le Mans, all of it. So it's not surprising to see Dinkle come out here to road course and actually be able to put on a really strong fight against one of the best road racers in the NASCAR circuit on iRacing.
And now he's got the lead. Can he hang on to it? That's the question going forward. You've got the pressure off your back. He's not breathing down your neck. You can make one or two mistakes and he's not going to get by you. So can you build that gap out? Can you maintain it if you're Trent Dinkle, sitting at 1.5 seconds right now? Can you hold it at that margin, or are you going to let Maines eat back into that and put you right back under pressure quickly?
I'll tell you one thing. The thing that I think Trent has in it as his advantage is when Garrett is there, you don't see Trent make bad decisions. Garrett puts the pressure to him. You know, right now you've seen Garrett kind of cut into that lead, but it's, you know, it's like Dinkel's got ice water, you know, running through his blood. Just doesn't crack under pressure here. I have a child yelling at me right now. Don't bear with me.
Good excuse. Good excuse.
It's my excuse of the night. Just like Levine's always got something broken on the car.
Oh, dude, I hit the wall in lap 1 and it broke it. Man.
Why'd you hit the wall, Justin?
Good question. That's a good question that we need answers to. You know who hasn't hit the wall yet? Trent Dinkle.
Maine's almost did.
But yeah, but if you got, you know, a little tinkle sprayed in the kitchen floor, you'd probably go for a tumble too.
So we're tumbling down on this.
I feel like you made me. You called it out, so you made me.
I can't
But
see what was said.
we have a mad owner in the chat.
Yeah,
Hey,
I see.
If you want grace from me, pay me more.
Yeah, want my money, Justin?
Yeah.
Watching Adriano work his way around here, though, 5 seconds back from your race leader. Kind of in no man's land, which, in my personal opinion and experience, is the best place to be on these road courses. Huge advantage to fourth place Hodgson behind him. Just around 10-second mark there between those two.
Yeah, talk about no pressure, right, for the podium spot. Gomez, nobody near. Absolutely nobody. Still a good run from Hodgson, though, up in fourth, I got to say.
Yeah, just hang around, keep that red dragon machine in one piece, keep it between the lines, and get a good finish, which is what he's been so good at doing this year on the road races.
What do you say we go on board with old Garrett Maines as he tries to run down Trent Dinkle and take a Ryco rev it up? We're back here on the Ryco Performance of Monday Night Top Split. We were on board there with Garrett Maines for a while, and as soon as we stepped away, we saw him commit vehicular manslaughter. Rest in peace to the poor soul that Garrett Maines sacrificed on his way trying to get back up to the race lead. You will not be forgotten. I believe it was John Price, the driver of the number 17, who was brutally murdered. Coming around lap number 7, I believe.
Well, that's huge wheel hop scenario there for the 17 machine.
I'm not sure. It might have been somebody else that he got into, but either way, it was kind of funny. As soon as we signed off to it, Garrett got into the back of a lap car.
And that car is evil.
Excuse me, cost himself a ton of time, but he's gained a good chunk of it back. The lead is down to 0.7 of a second, and it's cutting even further than that.
Yeah, Garrett Maines really putting the pressure to the back of that number 2 machine of Trent Dingle now within a spitting distance. You see Trent get a little bit loose there. I think Trent's finally letting the pressure get to him.
Well, the pressure is just now getting to him. So it shouldn't have been on him beforehand. He had a big gap. The pressure is just now getting on as Garrett Maines is getting down to 0.5 of a second. So the pressure better not have been on beforehand.
Right now we're seeing what, Garrett did in the last race too, just being so aggressive with those braking zones, really closing up that gap to the car in front of him. Looked like the first handful of laps, he was really trying to figure out what the limits were of that 12 machine. But here, as we start to get a little bit later into this thing, he's coming in like clockwork. He's finally got that rhythm, the thing that we're used to seeing out of Maines here on the road courses. He takes a deep stab into the chicane here on the front straightaway, and he's going to be right to the bumper.
It's crazy how fast he is on the brake pedal, man, on the heavy braking zones. It's just ridiculous how much speed he carries down into the corner. And here through 1 and 2, all over the back bumper of your race leader, looking to the inside into 3. Not going to take it. Maybe a bumper coming through 3 and 4. All over the back bumper of Trent Dingle in the number 9. A little bit of contact between the two. And Trent's going to create a little bit of space between him and Garrett as we come down to turn number 5 and 6. The double right-hander around a lap car. Again, Garrett Maines not going to be able to find the space to get by as they're about to get themselves back onto the NASCAR oval.
I think Garrett's just, waking Trent up saying, hey, man, I'm back here, I'll give you little shots here and there, but at some point, the aggression's going to kick on, and I'm going to have to move you out of the way. See him kind of fall back a little bit. He's going to be mounting a charge here very soon. And it's going to be right here. Look at how deep he takes it into the chicane on the back stretch here. Loses a little bit on exit, though.
Yeah, he definitely cost himself time on exit, but the braking zone is just so ridiculously good that whenever he hits it perfect, it ends up actually being just fine on exit, and you gain everything back. So I don't know. I feel like it's mostly a benefit. That front stretch chicane is just so good for him.
Look at how much he closed there on that front stretch chicane. That is absolutely insane. And right here
on the oval, he's weak.
1 and 2, he's really good as well.
Coming onto the oval, Trent Dingle has been able to gap him time and time again. So as long as Trent can keep the lead, stay clear before they get there, I think he's fine. But here, coming out of 4, Garrett might be able to make the move as he's looking to the inside. Coming into turn number 5, Dingle's off the preferred groove. Garrett Maines through to the inside and through to the race lead.
Dingle going to try and do everything he can to fight back, but I think it's pretty much sold. Garrett Maines out here in the lead as they come back onto the oval. But here's where Trent Dingle's strong suit has been all race long, and here he comes back down to the bottom. Maines not going to be able to clear. He's there.
Trent Dingle back alongside him, coming down the back straightaway. Garrett's been better on the brakes all night. Does he overshoot it this time, though? Coming into the backstretch chicane, able to stay on the racetrack. Maybe he just edges Dingle out wide enough. Garrett with the drive and able to clear Trent Dingle coming down into NASCAR 3.
Now here's the question that I was going to levy here. It's a battle of 2 setup shops here. You got Conti and you got Ryco, 2 entirely different cars underneath these drivers. I'm wondering if Conti prioritized, a little bit of the aero, a little bit of the straight line performance trim the car out a little bit more, and if the Ryco car has just got a little bit more downforce, a little bit more mechanical grip than what that 9 machine has at the moment. We see
Maybe
Trent,
a little bit better on the long run as the tires wear.
yeah, we saw Trent so fast on the oval sections of the track, where it seemed like, Maines was kind of slacking a little bit. But Maines has progressively gotten better and better through the, the front half of the track as this run's gone on.
Well, since the race for the lead has kind of settled itself out with Garrett Maines taking over the top spot, we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break of the racing action. Be sure to stay with us. We still got a lot more Green Flag Racing coming at you on the other side.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday night top split. The B Open still going on. Garrett Maines, your race leader with the 3.5 second lead over Trent Dinkle, who he passed just before the commercial break not too long ago. Adriano Jaguar Gomez currently running in third, and man, he has got himself a huge gap over Nolan Hodgson in fourth, as we see Blair Wickett come down pit road from the 6th place position. Definitely in his fuel window, but just a little earlier than I would have expected somebody to come down.
bringing her down, throwing on 4 tires. I mean, you know, the B car still has a significant amount of tire wear here on the road courses, as opposed to the Cup car. The skinnier tires, they burn off a little bit quicker. Trying to make the most of that, you know, pit sequence, trying to get a little bit of an undercut here to maybe gain a couple spots, a little bit of track position.
Gonna have to wait and see if it pays off. Right in front of our race leader, Garrett Maines. Somebody goes off into the turf. Oh, tight between Maines and a lapper.
But a lock up there for Maines too. Maybe scrape the wall a little bit. Coming through too.
If you're not scraping the walls a couple times, you're not pushing the limits far. That's how you know somebody's making speed. But there's a difference in, you know, there's a difference in what the 22 probably did than what we saw Garrett do through 1 and 2 here as he's lined up against the inside wall. And your race leader is
and
trying
here
to get by
comes Maines
now.
right to the bumper. Oh, so close.
That was tight. That was tight.
Just about burned the biscuits up there at the roadhouse. 22 catching a little bit of that turf. Getting to the throttle. And just round she goes. Very easy to get loose in there, especially in the B car. Because you got so many different elevation changes. You got so many elevation changes playing with you right there. Like seeing it on board with Maines. It's kind of decambered. It de-wedges the car a little bit. Oh man, that was such a close moment.
Yeah, that's a little too tight. Maybe if you're Garrett, maybe you could have been willing to give up a couple more tenths to protect your lead. I don't know, but hey, he got through okay, just by the skin of his teeth.
That's the thing about Maines, man. That guy is always on kill. There is no passive driving out of that one machine. We watch the 12 machine and Hodgson here. A little bit further behind him. I think that is bogus. There we go. I was trying not to make that sound terrible, but somehow I did.
Clinton Engel running in the 6th place position, coming down to the front stretch chicane. Not really fighting anybody for position. These are lap cars around him. A couple more people have come down pit road, so still waiting to see how the pit cycle plays out, but currently only 7 cars on the lead lap.
Look at that, Denny Hamlin right in front of him.
Get out of the way, Denny. Cheer for your lawsuit, not your skills on the racetrack. Big difference.
Trent Dinkle,
2nd place, coming down pit road.
Gonna bring it in here, try to get a little bit of an undercut, maybe attempt to get some kind of an advantage to carve into Maines. We got a crash here on the track.
Oh man, the backstretch chicane got a couple, caught a couple victims, I believe. Hodgson might have been involved there. I believe he's got some front end damage, and we saw another vehicle stopped.
We'll start out with the 20 machine here. Lopsel just did not get into the corner at any point. 92 gets into him, and then there goes Hodgson right into it. Nowhere for any of those guys to go. Nothing they could have done to avoid it at that point.
Yeah, this corner exit really tightens up, man, right? You're getting to the gas. The momentum of the corner is carrying you to the left, and there's just a wall protruding out, not letting you go too far left. So there's only one lane you're shooting for coming out of that corner. And, well, whenever there's a guy sitting sideways in the middle of it, makes it a little bit more difficult.
I can tell you, too. From the camera angle we saw there, the roof shot, that's not what the driver's able to see. Hodgson probably didn't even know that 20 was there until he saw the car in front of him stop.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. You don't see these guys until they're right in front of you, unless you're the lead car. You cannot see in front of the guy in front whatsoever. Maybe you get a little lucky and can peek through the window, but there's not much you can really tell from it.
little bit of a shakeup here. Gomez in the second spot. Looks like he's exiting pit road now. No, never mind. He's coming in. Don't know where my eyes went, but they went somewhere. Dingle should be overtaking him back for second place here. There it is. Dingle back up to P2. 31 seconds now behind your race leader, Garrett Maines. But Maines still has yet to pit. Here goes Gomez. Good clean stop.
Garrett pushing this out a lot farther than everybody else. Not willing to come down pit road just yet. But if everybody's been taking tires, like you said, then I imagine Garrett with the lead just wants to make sure he's got the newest tires to end this thing.
Yeah. No, here he comes. Lap 22, bringing her in.
Hits pit road nicely. Doesn't really lose any time on that one. Very clean pit entry. So it's going to be interesting to see how much time Trent Dinkel can make up. How close will he be to the race leader of Garrett Maines whenever the pit stops are cycled through? Dinkel coming out of the back straightaway chicane and into NASCAR 3 as Garrett Maines is coming down to pit stall number 2, just now stopping in his box. Dinkel coming down to the front stretch chicane. Garrett Maines just now getting the right side tires down off the ground. Left side's going on as Trent Dinkel is coming across the start finish line. Garrett Maines coming out of pit road. He's going to have a tighter line. Not as much distance that he has to travel. And Trent Dinkel, he's got a little bit of a speed advantage, but I don't think he's going to get there. Garrett Maines is going to be able to hang on to the race lead. But he's got some cold tires off the racetrack already.
If Maines had stayed out another lap, that would have fallen into Dinkel's hand, but Maines did a really good job coming down when he needed to. If he'd have pushed that any further, there'd have been a battle on our hands right now, but Maines on fresher tires. I think it's going to be pretty much point and click for him at this point as the 22 machine is around again, right in front of your leader.
The leaders are clear of them now. They're past onto the oval. But the 22 of Brad Davenport here coming out of 4. Just on the throttle too hard. Gets that thing looped around to the right, cuts it back to the left, right
Gomez.
in front of Gomez. Could have been tough there for our third place runner on the podium. Could have been, or he was close to not being anymore.
Yeah, because that shot would have absolutely killed that 3 machine. Good eye for him to know that something was going to happen there. I mean, seems kind of obvious that 22's had a couple of nasty spills here this race, so hopefully he's able to find some kind of back tire to keep that thing going to finish it off.
Oh man, Garrett's getting held up by a lap car in 3 and 4 pretty big. Maybe allowing Dinkel to get back into it ever so slightly, but still Garrett still has those newer tires. That's going to be hard for Trent to actually put any meaningful dent into this deficit to the race lead. I think he's going to need a lot more help from a lot more lap traffic.
Lap car, by the way, is the 8th place runner, Lockwood. First car a lap down, 8th spot. And they're getting ready to get to Ingle here before too long. Yeah, they're getting ready to get close to Clint Ingle here in another handful of laps.
Garrett and Trent both have lapped all the way up through 8th place with 16 laps to go at the line.
Yeah, these two have just been in an entirely different zip code this entire race.
They've been impressive to say the least. Garrett Maines up in the race lead. Trent Dinkel losing a little bit of time in second. Still a great effort from Trent here in the second place spot. It's been pretty consistent the last few weeks that we've been talking to him after these B opens. He's been the consistent threat week in, week out.
He's had a really good string of runs this year, that's for sure. A dominant force in this series. Gomez up here with another good podium running position. Another time at a road course. Really seems to be one of those ringers, you know, one of those guys that just really shows up strong every time we go to a place where we got to turn left and right.
Just doesn't make a lot of mistakes. You know, he's got a big gap behind him. Hasn't been under a lot of pressure tonight, and hasn't put himself under any, you know, unforced pressure. And he could have made an error, made a mistake to put him behind the 8-ball, but he's kept himself ahead of everything by just running a nice, clean, quiet race. We were talking about it with Tommy in the A Open for running in 5th. I feel like it's a pretty similar thing here with Gomez tonight in the B Open.
Yeah, and Boga's up to 4th right now, 29 seconds back from the leader, but what is that, about 15 seconds back from 3rd place, Gomez. He's worked his way through the field. We didn't really think anything of him here when we started this thing out, putting in a good performance for that Premier Motorsports number 17. And just behind him, you got Blair Wickett and Clinton Ingle. Last 2 cars in the lead lap, holding out top 10 spots for Ryco here in this one. So a little bit of a Ryco sandwich for the lead lap.
Holding on to the last couple spots on the lead lap, you could just see Garrett Maines coming into view behind here as the camera pans over. Maines going through the backstretch chicane, catching Clint Ingle, holy cow, and Blair Wickett up here in 6th and 7th. Looking to put both those guys a lap down by the end of the race. He very well could lap up to 5th. I think he could get to Nolan. But other than that, I think it's going to be a little bit too tall of an ask.
At some point, Garrett's got to put it in cruise control, right? Not whom. What am I talking about? It's Garrett. He's going to keep that thing gassed as much as he can. See him so tidy. Around the bottom, you hear these corners just getting every bit out of the apex that he possibly can.
That's the thing. I've been in this situation a couple times on a road course, and you just want to lap as many people as possible. You want to see how much of the field you can lap. It's like a challenge to yourself. So I bet you Garrett's going to be going pretty all out for a lot of this.
There's no mistakes out of him tonight.
With the
Nice
22 wide in front of him, way wide, but is he going to get out of the racing groove?
About
Garrett not going to lose too much time. 3.8 seconds back to Trent Dinkle, but a nervy moment. That's not what you want to see in front of your windshield. If you're
That's
Garrett
about the
Maines,
second
and there's
or
still a couple
third
more
time.
lap cars.
Like the second or third time that Garrett Maines has had a near-death experience with that 22 machine attached to it. I'm pretty sure he's going to have nightmares about Texas Roadhouse tonight when he goes to sleep.
I'm never going again. Oh. He's got the 10 on his outside, putting another lap down. That's the second time that he's passed Dennis. And now Clinton Ingle getting out of the way as well. So Garrett Maines slapped all the way up through 7th place. As we're working lap number 28 of 40. Driver the number 12 looking pretty good up front.
Yeah, and that right there, passing Clinton Ingle, that's one of those moments where you're very grateful that you have teammates in it. Because when you catch 2 or 3 lap cars at the same time, it terrifies you here. Right now we see Wickett on pit road, late race stop. Looks like there might have been an incident attached to it. As you see the 97 machine here on the back straightaway. Having it down into the chicane. Grabs the curbs. The car he just jumps right over it. And that's a done for the day scenario for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, that thing just destroyed. I mean, he hit the curbs and it catapulted, and he just had no chance at that point. I mean, tough break for Blair Wickett. One of the only 6 cars on the lead lap. Take one off the board, now make it 5. As Wickett's going to be out of this thing and lose a ton of spots.
Yeah, that's the thing about this damage model, right? Most of the time, pretty sturdy. You can get away with a lot of stuff. But as soon as you hit something, you can read what's written on your hood. You know you're done for the day.
Main stretching out his race lead to about 5 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and take our final commercial break of the racing action. Whenever we come back, we're going to take this thing into the checkered flag. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. We're finishing up the B Open right here, right now. 9 laps to go for Garrett Maines, who's opened up a 6.3 second lead over Trent Dinkel. 20 seconds over Adriano de Aguiar Gomez, who rounds out the podium right now.
Yep. Nolan Hodgson in 4th place, followed by Bogus in the 5th place position. First car a lap down. Eagle 6th, 7th is going to be Clifford with 8th place being 19 Machine of Ball. Haven't really talked about him much tonight.
We might only have our
get up in
podium
there.
on the lead lap by the end of this, Sheldon.
It's seriously looking like it because Hodgson's been kind of fighting with the handle of that car all race long.
Holy cow. This is ridiculous. I don't think I've ever called a race with 3 cars on the lead lap at the end of it.
I think we had one like this in High Slide earlier this year. Possibly.
Can Garrett Maines lap one more? 18 seconds back from Nolan Hodgson. 8 laps to go.
right there, what we just saw there in one, like that has just been the thing that Garrett's done. That nobody else has been able to do. He's just able to get that car lower in the corner, every corner, without sacrificing speed or drive off. Like he's really got a good handle for that thing, and he's really been hooked up all race long.
He's got 1 and 2 almost turned into one corner. Like it's so hooked up through turn 1 that it sets him up so perfect for turn 2 that he's just able to get that thing really down to the wall and just pinch off that corner and kind of drive out of it with the throttle rather than kind of using the tires and getting on the right front. So I think that Main's just kind of letting the car drive itself almost after getting on the brakes. It's all in what he's doing in the brake pedal, getting into the braking zone, setting himself up for the corner.
I'll say these are good signs for Maines, you know, unfortunately having to dip back down to the Contender Series here this year. Pretty sure, I'm based on what we've seen out of him in every series that we've covered him in this year, I'm pretty sure that it will be a pretty quick fight to get him back up into the Pro Series next year, and a well-deserving spot for him to get back in there, too. I can't think of many people that dominant in everything that he runs.
Main's trying to pull off the double here tonight. He's got the lead to where you got to think he's going to be able to do it. 7.5 seconds, 8 seconds over Trent Dinkle. Working lap number 34. Had a really good run in the A Open. Had to put up with a big fight with Sean Conklin, who sat on the race pole, or sat on the pole from qualifying and then put up a big fight, but Sean got damage early, was able to hang on to the race lead, but then got even more damage a little bit later, and well, the challenge was completely gone. Garrett Maines went through to the race lead and never looked back, never had a challenge. Here, Trent Dinkle put on the fight, put on the challenge, but Garrett Maines was just able to overcome it, able to get in the clean air, and ever since then has been able to drive away.
Yeah, Garrett just been way better in the long run. I got to give credit to Dinkle, too. A lot of people get put in second place after leading, you know, the first 15 laps or so of a road course, and then just make mistake after mistake and take themselves out of a good finish. Dinkle realized, yep, Maines is better than me. I'm just going to ride here and do what I got to do to get this thing over with, and doing a good job holding off second place, and with a huge advantage over third place, Adriano Gomez, who's also just been on a really good run of things here the past couple weeks, and another solid podium for this man in the 3 machine.
I'm starting to think Garrett Maines is not going to get to Nolan Hodgson. Nolan has some damage, but he's coming out onto the oval right now. Garrett Maines just now coming into 7 and then 8, which is the turn that comes back onto the NASCAR oval. So I think it's going to be a big enough gap to keep Nolan Hodgson on the lead lap. So it's looking like 4 cars, as long as they can all keep it straight to the end of it over the next 6 laps, which seems to be a pretty tall ask because Nolan's getting a little sideways out of the backstretch chicane.
He's
As
trying
he
to help
comes
Garrett
up
out.
6 laps to go.
He's trying to give Garrett a hand with that.
Well, and if you get lapped, you have to run 1 less lap, which means, you know, 1 less lap that you could wreck yourself. Sounds pretty nice to me.
I'd be getting myself lapped.
If I was running really poorly or struggling big time, I agree. If I'm running okay, nah.
I'm always running poorly. I'm struggling.
Big time here.
Well,
so.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah, thanks.
That doesn't surprise anybody. We've been over this.
Yeah, I was basically one sim version of Bubba Wallace when it came to road courses. Proud of it.
To everything.
What's that supposed to mean?
You're bad at everything. Not Bubba Wallace, but you are.
Oh,
You're
okay.
bad at everything as he is to road courses.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, man.
You know, I'd like to tell it as it is so that maybe you can fix yourself.
I'd like to go back in time about 3 or 4 years ago and just start giving you fake versions of my setups.
Wouldn't have worked. Wouldn't have worked. I would have practiced. I would have found out they were crap.
It's okay. Anyway, Dinkle.
And now I'm never going to
working
trust the setup you give me again, so good luck with that, buddy.
Oh, when's the last time I've given you a setup?
Exactly. Now, if it
This
ever happens.
day and age. I mean, why would you choose anything else aside from our presenting sponsor, Ryco.
I mean, no kidding. After watching tonight, that would be a pretty safe bet with the 1, 2, 3 in the A Open, and Maine's just stinking up the field here in the B Open after getting into the lead.
Oh man, look at how much curb he grabbed there.
Four laps to go for Garrett Maines here at the Charlotte Roval. 10-second lead. What a night it's been for Garrett. 2 wins back-to-back is what it's shaping up to be.
That car behind Dinkle right there, that is your 5th place runner. That 17 machine. That is how deep into this field these guys have cut. 5th position. Right there.
That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. These road courses sometimes, man, the field spread can be quite a bit.
I think our producer just said the 5th place car is lapped all the way up to 8. I'm getting tired just thinking
Well,
about
the
it.
8th place car has been lapped twice. So yeah, the field spread here tonight, pretty big, pretty big. I don't think anybody was looking forward to the Charlotte Roval this week.
No, I think that I think we should bring it back to the oval personally.
So if you're good at road courses and you want to boost your oval stats, this is probably the week to do it.
It's not how that works anymore, buddy.
You grab the Ryco set and you go in here, find races where there's no crazy good people, and you farm up the wins.
I'm sure that goes to your sports car license now, doesn't it?
Well, it affects your safety rating in it, I think, but I think that it affects your oval stats, like your wins and your top 5s and everything, because it was in an oval series.
Green Machine made the first mistake I've seen him make all night. A little bit of contact with the wall there. No damage. It's enough to give us a little bit of a smoke show, though, going up the hill.
Yeah, not really going to matter whenever he's got 50 seconds on 4th.
We can hit it hard enough that it does matter. But he didn't do that. Yeah, as Brandon Marr just said in the chat, it does have no effect on your oval stats anymore.
Well, dude, I could have swore it affected your wins.
It used to.
It's weird. Does it really go to the sports car wins now, too?
Yeah, it all
Okay.
goes to the sports
Fair
car
enough.
stuff.
Fair enough, fair enough. Sad I can no longer farm my oval iRating or anything, which I knew about the iRating. I knew that was a long time ago, but I miss those days. I miss being able to farm the oval iRating every time we went to Watkins Glen. Slow car on the apron, the 11. Off the pace. That's
I like to do it,
Matt Lockwood running in the top 10. Could lose a couple more spots here by the end of this one.
Yeah, I used to have a lot of fun with Arca car at Lime Rock. It was a decent combination for me. Love that track. Maine's off to a 12-second advantage, though. Bringing it here through the bus stop. Just 2 more times now. He brings it out. Bring it here to the oval turns 3 and 4. Bring it here to the white flag.
Yeah, it would take a meltdown of catastrophic proportions at this point to throw this away for Garrett. Now, he does have a lap car in front of him, so who knows? Maybe there's a landmine yet to be set that Garrett's going to have to trigger here on this last lap. But just 1 lap to go. You got to be thinking the driver of the 12 is just thinking, I got to get this thing home.
I think that 99 machine is going to be courteous and get out of his way. And there it is. Right there. Going to get on the brakes. Clean sailing here for Garrett Maines. Now for the last lap. He brings it down. Well, brings it up into the uphill section here, the double right. Nice and tidy against the curbs. Don't want to get a big slide here. Nice and steady, and he's going to bring it back out here onto the oval. And this thing's just about as good as sold for him.
Back on to the back straightaway for the final time for Garrett Maines here at the Charlotte Roval. The A Open was pretty straightforward after Sean Conklin got knocked out and Garrett Maines took over the race lead. The B Open was even more straightforward after Garrett Maines took the race lead, got the clean air, and drove away from Trent Dinkle in second place. So 2 races tonight here for the Ryco Performance Monday night top split. And both of them, the A Open and the B Open, are going to be going to the driver of the number 12, Garrett Maines. Does the sweep here at the Charlotte Roval.
Absolute clinic ×2. Coming down here into the front straightaway through the chicane for the final time. Trent Dinkle, second place. Solid run for him tonight and a good night for points. Dinkle's going to bring home P2.
Adriano de Aguilar Gomez coming through all by his lonesome through the front stretch chicane. He's going to be your 3rd place finisher tonight. And the last guy on the lead lap, he's still in the infield. That's how far back he is. It's Nolan Hodgson. So we're going to do the audience the pleasure of watching his last lap from our last commercial break. So we're going to take our last abbreviated commercial break, and it's going to be Nolan Hodgson finishing here from 4th. All right, sorry, no commercial there, but we're back in the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. Garrett Maines is celebrating here, and we're going to do a full race rundown and get the full race results to you here from the Charlotte Roval as we have just finished up the B Open. Garrett Maines, your race winner. Trent Dinkle in second place with Adriano de Aguilar Gomez rounding out the podium. Nolan Hodgson in 4th, Andrew Bogus in 5th. The top 4 are the only ones on the lead lap, by the way. Clinton Engel in 6th. Robert Clifford in 7th, Dan Ball in 8th, Ryan Catalano in 9th, and Dennis Nickel rounds out the top 10.
11th place, you got Matt Lockwood, followed by Mitchell Watson in 12th. 13th is going to be Brad Davenport with Blair Wickett in 14th. 15th is going to be Josiah Opsel, followed by 17th place, Antoinette Horton. 16th place is Dylan Nilsson, followed by Fidel Rutledge, John Price, and Brandon Minto, rounding out your top 20. And then running out your field is going to be Mike O'Brien and Charles Watson in 22nd.
All right, that rounds out your 22-car field. Next up, we're going to be talking to a couple of our top 3 finishers. It doesn't look like we've gotten in touch with our 3rd place finisher, so it looks like we're going to jump straight into Sheldon's 2nd place interview. Sheldon is going to be standing side by side with Trent Dinkle.
And Trent, it feels like you're in contention to win these things week in and week out. Solid 2nd place performance tonight, led a handful of laps at the start of this thing. And how's it feel to be good everywhere?
I wouldn't say it was super great. We were definitely pretty decent. Needed a little something from the car after about 10 laps. Seemed like I was able to fight pretty good with Garrett there. You know, the first 10 laps, the lap cars were kind of helping me out a lot. And then after lap 10, once he got clear of the lap cars, it was like a light just flipped and I couldn't turn at all. So it definitely wasn't helping things, but it is what it is.
So how much preparation went into it for you this week? Or is this like, do you come to the road course and just kind of like ride through to get the points and call it a day?
I mean, I like to do really good at the road courses. I feel like it's one of the things that not a lot of people like, so I try and excel at it. But this week, I did about 5 laps on Saturday, and I did the first SOF race, and that was about it. I was a little busy doing house stuff, getting my house ready to be sold, so yeah, it's kind of my first really day back racing in a solid week.
Oh man, good run tonight. Who all do you want to thank for this second place performance?
Definitely, everybody at Team Conti, Nick, definitely a big shout out to all the guys in Contender, because we got a few of them with Team Conti, and good luck to them tomorrow night and all that good stuff.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming up here and taking the time to talk with us this evening, and looking forward to seeing more of you here in the future.
Yep, sounds good.
Alrighty, that was your second place finisher, Trent Dinkle. Next up, we're going to talk to your 2-time race winner here tonight, and that is Garrett Maines. Garrett, you had a good fight there with Trent through the first half of this race, but whenever you got by, man, it was just clean sailing. So just kind of walk us through it. How'd you get that lead away from him?
Oh man, I stopped driving the A car and started driving the B car. I was on the struggle bus for the first 30 minutes of this race. I couldn't really figure it out. It's just I think the biggest thing is you take the curbs in this car and the car reacts exactly opposite. You plow on the other side of the curb, where I'm used to getting some snap rotation. No such thing for sure in this car, and I kept going wide and then shoving the nose, and I was doing everything wrong. Just couldn't quite get the angles right. It was a totally different approach, but I felt like once I figured it out, I don't know if Trent had burned his tires up. I felt like he started to fall off relative to everyone else as well, and I just got an opportunity to get by him. Was able to set sail from there and kind of learn as I went. I knocked a toe out of it on lap 10, and that was the best the car had driven for me since, because it literally forced it to rotate where I needed it in the free corners. So it's okay, that's better.
Garrett, congratulations on winning back-to-back races here tonight, becoming a very common occurrence for you, it seems, here in the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Splits. So who do you have to thank once again at the end of this one?
Well, the common occurrence, I have Contender Series to thank. I gotta get reacclimated to this car, but I gotta give a huge shout out to the guys at Ryco Performance, and big thank you to Brandon and Quentin for obviously Brandon building the car, and Quentin for giving me some tips here to be able to figure this out in a very short period of time. So thank you to those guys each and every week for all their hard work, and also got to give a shout out to Scott at MCU Body and Linux.
Well, congrats once again, Garrett, and good luck going forward in the Contender Series. Looking forward to seeing you punch your ticket back to the Coke Series for next season.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Alrighty, that was your race winner. Both races, actually, won both races tonight. Garrett Maines from the Charlotte Roval. Sheldon, we've just finished up both races, so what'd you think?
Garrett Maines, man. Absolute domination. Another road course in a row. Honestly, both of these races went a lot cleaner than what I was expecting. I was expecting a lot more chaos, and we had a couple nervous moments, but nothing too bad. So, looking forward to coming back here Friday night and dusting off the microphone and doing it all over again.
All right, well, that is going to do it here from us at GridVision, but first we're going to get a little look at our schedule before we go. Tomorrow night on Tuesday, the Spartan Masters Series, 9:30 p.m. Eastern from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And then Friday, right back here once again from Charlotte for the Ryco Performance Friday night NIS Top Split at 9 p.m. Eastern. So a couple more races from Charlotte going forward this week. Going to be a fun one this week ahead on GridVision. But that is going to do it from us here at GridVision, and from the entire GV team, we'd like to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your league broadcasted or starting your career in broadcasting, contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Congratulations to Garrett Maines on winning tonight's race from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. This has been Austin Edstrom standing alongside Sheldon Atkins and Austin Darbyshire, our producer. We will see you next time on the Grid.